Hello, welcome back to Health Score. And today we're in the section on nutrition. We're talking about foods to limit. And we're starting with processed foods. The recommendation: limit processed foods to not more than one serving per day. The evidence for this comes from a large clinical trial, which showed that beyond one serving of processed food per day, there is a significant increase in premature death. What's wrong with processed food? Processed food has a lot of things wrong with it. It's poor quality fat, has added sugar and salt, is low in micronutrients, and low in fiber. And that's a perfect storm for increasing risk of cancer, raising your LDL cholesterol, which leads to heart disease, increasing risk for obesity, and increasing blood pressure. Not only is the food bad, but it replaces the foods that are beneficial, like whole foods that aren't processed. So, how do you achieve this goal? First of all, let's get into the weeds here. The goal is one serving or less of processed foods. What exactly are we talking about? We're talking about foods that you wouldn't find in nature, foods that have had some mechanical process to remove or add elements. This is breakfast cereal, pastries, muffins, donuts, microwave dinners, fried foods, pizza, sweet or savory packaged snacks, candy, cake, cookies, ice cream, sweetened beverages. And you may be saying, how could you tell me to stop eating that? That's my diet. Well, that's true. Since the 1970s, processed food has become a major part of the Western diet, and so has the incidence of obesity, among other problems. And the connection has been made between the quality of our new food and the increasing rates of not only obesity, but as also diabetes. So this is what we're up against. Highly processed foods are convenient, highly palatable, and aggressively promoted with the aid of attractive packaging and intensive marketing. So, to avoid them, it's best to plan ahead and to prepare your meals at home. It's much harder to enter the marketplace of processed foods and try to navigate to find what's healthy. It's much easier to prevent the dilemma of what to eat when you're out or when you're ordering in by not eating out or ordering in. What does that look like for me? So the next step is designing a daily meal plan of what you're going to prepare at home. This is what it looks like for me. I have a salad for lunch, sauteed vegetables and a protein with dinner, oats with a fruit on top of them for a dessert. Next step is shopping ahead. So it is very hard to prepare wholesome meals if you think about it when you're hungry in the evening and haven't purchased any groceries ahead of time. It's much easier to rely on ramen noodles, which you can just crack open or order a pizza if you haven't laid the groundwork for preparing your own food. So shopping ahead is key. This is what is put in my fridge every week, just in produce and plant-based protein, so that I can ensure 5 servings a day of fruit and vegetables. Stock your freezer, all sorts of seafood and plant-based proteins here. Stock your pantry, all sorts of whole grains and beans there. Also, extra virgin olive oil and different vinegars for cooking. Shelf-stable or canned seafood as well. So in all, what you're doing is you're preparing for deliberately eating well rather than leaving it to the last minute when your choices are going to be haphazard and depend on processed, convenient, highly palatable, and highly unhealthy food. In summary, We've discussed the recommendation to limit processed food to not more than one serving per day. We talked about the evidence behind the recommendation. We talked about the harm from poor quality fats, foods with added sugar and salt, and foods with little micronutrients and fiber. I discussed 3 steps to optimizing your intake of whole foods and plant-based foods rather than processed foods by describing what the processed foods are, by explaining that it's our lack of planning that leads us to eat them, and by offering a plan for 3 healthy meals a day and a recommendation to shop ahead. I hope these tips have been helpful. This is a great step you can take towards improving your health, meaning specifically preparing your own foods. I hope you're able to take these steps, and I think you'll enjoy the outcome. Thank you very much, and have a great day.